Hello guys, in this video we are going to discuss about what is the difference between post and put request or HTTP method. So in this video I am going to explain each points of difference between this post and put method in detail. So let's get started. The first difference between this post and put is post requests are non-idempotent and put requests are idempotent. So let's see what this idempotent means. Idempotency means that sending the same request multiple times will produce the same result without changing the state of the server or the resource. Okay, so in this post method, whenever we are hitting multiple times post method, then it will create new resource each time. But in the case of put request, even if you are hitting put request multiple times, it will have the same effect as it was making while we hit it first time put request. So put requests are considered idempotent, whereas post requests are considered non-idempotent. Let's see the second difference. Post requests are used for creating a new resource, whereas put requests are used for updating the existing records in the server or put a new existing resource in the server. But if in the case where resource is not existing in the server, then the put request will create the new one. But in the case of post request, it is for creating a new resource. Here post request will not function as updating the existing record, but here put request can function as creating a resource as well as updating the resource. So this is the second difference between post and put. Third one is post requests are not considered safe operation, but put requests are often considered to be safe operation. Post is not considered safe because they have the side effects such as creating a new resource or triggering specific action. But in the case of put request, they don't change the server state in a way that's visible to the user. So this is the third difference between post and put request. Now let's talk about the fourth point. The URL often points to the collection or a general endpoint. But in the case of put, the URL typically points directly to the resource that you are planning for updating. Okay, so here you can see I have taken the example. Base URL I have not kept, only the endpoint you can see API/user. So this is a general endpoint, but in put you can see API/user/user ID or some user ID you can say. So it is pointing to specific user, but in the case of post it is pointing to the general endpoint. So this is the fourth difference between post and put. Now let's see the fifth point. There are less chances of conflict in post, but there are more chances of conflict in put request. So let's take an example. If two clients are trying to update the same resource simultaneously, the last request received by the server will override the changes made by the previous one. Okay, but in the post request, this was in the put request, like when the conflict might happen when two clients or three or four people are in the same time trying to update the resource. There might be chances of conflict because the latest change will be reflecting in the resource. But in the case of put request, server usually creates a new ID for new resource, so there are like less chances of conflict. So that's why there is less chances of conflict in post request, but in put request there are high chances of conflict because multiple people are trying to update the same resource. That's why. So this is the fifth difference between post and put request. Let's see the last difference we have wrote. When a new record gets created in each request, we will get status code 201 in response, and if there are like we have constraint for the duplicate creation of resource, then we will get 409. But in the case of put request, when we are able to successfully update a record, when we will get 200 status code, and if the existing resource is not there in the server, it will create a new record and we will get 201 status code in the response. So this is the sixth difference between post and put request. So I have covered the most important differences between post and put request. Okay, so that's it from my side. Bye, take care.